I would like to dig a little bit into the subject of authenticity and, believe it or not, the pitfalls. When you look at self-help literature, and there's a lot of good stuff out there, but also a lot of stuff that is a little bit questionable, the advice about authenticity is just be authentic whenever, however. And I think, first of all, probably no one of us is always authentic. It's a tall order. But secondly, there are actually situations where it's good not to be authentic and knowing which one is which. And I want to talk about it because on the one hand, I talk about that for people who are hiding more, the artists and creative entrepreneurs, that it is important to become visible in an authentic way. But I think it's also important to be very clear on the spaces you want to do that in, and to have the parameters in place as well. For example, if you post on social media consistently, know what comments, know your parameters, know how you're going to deal with it if you get something nasty, and so on and so forth, so that you have some kind of safety around it. When you are in a toxic environment, let's say you have to work with someone who is narcissistic, it's not a good idea to be completely authentic and to tell that, to explain yourself, or to tell that person how you're really feeling. It's not a good idea, not at all. If you are dealing with this, look up Dr. Ramani. She's the expert on this. But in those situations, it is actually good to become less interesting to this person and to, in quotes, maybe go more in hiding, or to put it in another way, to protect those precious parts of ourselves and to not show it. So it's it can be for some people who have been or still are in toxic relationships or have to deal with antagonistic people. It is a very difficult thing, because it's not good for us if we just have to hide constantly in all of the spaces. It's not good for the soul. It's not good for our mental health. But at the same time, if we just say, oh, I'm going to show up everywhere now, no matter who it is and no matter what it is, it doesn't work either. So unfortunately, we have to make that hard work of becoming more discerning, and to be clear on the way how we want to show up, how it is sustainable for us. If we did show up in a space where somebody couldn't take our authenticity and started gaslighting us, that is a very good sign to row back and to say, well, I still can be in touch with this person, but I might just put a little bit more of an inner boundary up and don't share so much of the vulnerable things about myself. So I think it is important for us to be ourselves and authentic, but also it is important for us to protect ourselves, to know when to show up fully, when to show up half, and when to not show up at all. In a way. So that, I think also it really does help for people who in general are hiding completely, because that's maybe the opposite, saying, okay, this is so dangerous, I'm now have gone in hiding from everything. So I would say to this that the discernment piece is the important thing. And when you go into the whole self-help and self-improvement thing, the discernment is also very important, especially if you are dealing with narcissistic abuse. There are many of these principles that just don't apply, and come to that place where you take on more of the self-blame and it's all your responsibility and you're working much harder on it. It's not the way to go. I want to share this because I've been down that road, or going down, the awakening, life is a mirror and whatnot stuff that ultimately can be very harmful. I'm sure that there are also points in it that are, of course, good. But I think that discernment and getting the help you need when dealing with that kind of stuff, as I've said, Dr. Romani is a great resource, or getting a therapist and then working, for example, with someone like me, if you wanted to, on authentically becoming visible at the same time, right? But you need to really embark on that journey and find the right people that really help you to know which is which. In general, even if you're not dealing with toxic people, it still is a good idea to be clear on how you want to show up, where you want to show up, and when it is a good idea to not share everything and anything. So, yes to authenticity, but be discerning. You don't have to show up fully everywhere and anywhere. Let me tell you what you're thinking about this. This is Anja Kersten. I work with hiding artists and creative entrepreneurs. Have a good day. Bye-bye.